It is time to finally talk about this group of what I personally believe to be feds, this group called Patriot Front. Guys, John Claymore. Now, before we start this video, I want to wish you guys a happy 4th. Of course, I'm recording this video on the 4th of July, and of course, this video will be out on the 5th. So I hope you guys had a very, very good weekend. Let's always remember what Independence Day is always about. I figure I'd take a few extra days to kind of like get myself a bit of a break, to kind of like reset myself before the full content change. Now, right now I'm having an issue with microphones, as you guys are seeing right there. I've been doing a lot of testing, which you guys will probably see them right there. Sorry, I pointed this way right here. They're not really there. But before we talk about Patriot Front, first and foremost, there was a shooting in Highland Park, Illinois. Right now, we know that 6 have been killed, and it looks like anywhere between 15 to 20 have been wounded. We'll be talking about that a little bit more tomorrow when we get some more facts. And that video right there will more than likely be on both channels. The thumbnails may be a little bit different, but I want to go and let you guys, I want to kind of sort of like go ahead and let you guys that now. I'll wait till we get some more facts. When I did that video on Uvalde, of course, I had to make a follow-up video, which, by the way, was the intention when we got more facts about the issue. And, of course, there were a few things I had to kind of retract. But let's go ahead and talk about this group, Patriot Front. Now, guys, I personally think that these guys are feds. Okay, the biggest reason why I think that they're feds, or maybe they're feds spliced with Antifa, is because a lot of what they do is kind of sort of the same MO as Antifa. Let me go ahead and give you guys a bit of a recap on Antifa. Antifa was the group that was prominent in Portland, Oregon. They were going out there attacking old people. They were destroying property. Were burning things down. They got into it in the 2020 riots with the George Floyd protesters. Of course, all hell broke loose during 2020. Now, many people try to connect them. I said connect them. I can't say it out loud here on YouTube or else the video will get knocked. But many people are trying to connect them to George Soros. Many people also believe that the mayor of Portland himself, that he was actually the real leader of the group. And, of course, he was playing both sides, or he was basically being a double agent. Many people don't really know that. And, of course, we may cover that at a later date. Now, to me, this group, Patriot Front, they look like a bunch of guys who go out there and protest, and they just march around with flags and white masks on wearing khakis, which, by the way, is pretty much a dead giveaway of feds. But here's the thing, though. What they're doing is the exact opposite of what Antifa would do as far as actual actions. You see, these people go out there and they march and they scream, hell, friggin', just the typical white supremacist crap that they try to put on conservatives all the time. Now, the reason why I think it's probably Antifa mixed with FBI is because we had an incident a while back where the plot on Governor Whitmer turned out to be an actual FBI plot. Also, the guys who they were trying to get, they weren't even on the right. They were actually on the left. I mean, no, they weren't on the left. They just put it this way here. They were alt-right, never Trumpers, never vote blue crowd is what they were. They were exposed at a later date and trying to be just a giant FBI operation. And, of course, they just fumbled it is basically what they did. One of the more embarrassing things that the FBI has ever done. By the way, guys, I am not a fan of the FBI. Every time I turn around, the FBI is always screwing things up. The U.S. Marshal's Office tends to get things correct, but then again, they're not in charge of actually investigating for federal crimes. To my knowledge, if I get that wrong, lay a comment in the comment section. Please do that. They always appreciate the engagement. But here's the deal. These people, number one, they are in big cities like Boston. They're in cities like L.A. They're in cities like Portland. By the way, so you mean to tell me that Antifa just completely went away in Portland and they got replaced by these guys right here who are wearing khakis and blue shirts and white masks? It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. You see, my personal opinion is that this right here is another one of those FBI sting operations type things. That right is what I believe it is. I believe what it is that they're trying to whip up all this hysteria about people who are MAGA, or these people who are conservatives, people who may vote for Donald Trump or Ron DeSantis in 2024 to kind of keep the white supremacist narrative going. You see, these guys here, they go out there and they actually get beat in their actual supposed brawls and whatnot. The idea is to try to make them look weak is what it is, try to make it look like the far left is actually winning. The left, the people are actually winning against the so-called white supremacy. But yet the tactics that they're using are clearly the same things that would be out of the Antifa playbook. It would not surprise me if the Biden DOJ is not running some type of psyop or running something out there to kind of keep this white supremacist narrative going, while at the same time not prosecuting anybody who's actually guilty of actual crimes. So I just figured I would throw that out there. It's my personal theory. And by the way, I've been sitting on this for a while. I just never got to it. I just figured that today would be the actual day to do it. But I think that these guys, Patriot Front, they're clearly feds. I mean, they're feds, or they're being Fed controlled, and they're probably Antifa. Like I said, conservatives typically don't tend to stay in areas like Boston, Massachusetts, or New York. They typically tend to live in rural areas, small towns, and in some cases suburbs. Most of the cities, a lot of conservatives have left and went to actual red states. By the way, all this notion about people who are moving from blue states to red states voting Democrat, we don't entirely know that, okay? My feeling based on the numbers, and by the way, if this was true, then obviously Biden would not be beating Trump on any national level in any of these areas. He just wouldn't be doing it. A lot of polls are showing Biden Biden losing to both DeSantis and losing to Trump both. It's gotten so out of hand that Gavin Newsom is now releasing presidential ads in the state of Florida, thinking that he can pander to the Californians who moved to Florida. Well, the thing is this right here, the data is showing that they're not voting Democrat when they get there. See, think about it this way here. I know I'm getting a little off topic, but it just goes to just kind of like disprove a common misconception. Let's just say you're from New York State, and let's say you move from, let's say Utica, an area outside of Utica, New York, somewhere outside of Albany. Rural area, small town. Chances are if you move to a red state or you move to a purple state and you're moving to a small town or you're moving to a rural area, chances are you're not going to vote for what you left. There's a reason why you left the state. Now, if you're coming from a liberal city like, say, New York City to somewhere like, say, where I live at or, say, Raleigh, North Carolina, then said individual probably will vote how he left. Okay, it's just the way it is. But then again, that's not always the case. I know people from New York City who've moved down here to North Carolina are actually way more conservative than I am. Okay, just want to throw that out there. Also, something else, too. The data indicates that those that are moving to Texas are actually voting Republican, and something else to go on top of that, the border is starting to swing to the right, too. So it's not exactly, I just want to go ahead and throw that out there. Now, going back to what I was saying, conservatives typically don't live in these big cities. Okay, well, all these Patriot Front guys appear to be young males, probably early 20s, mid-20s, maybe some in their late 20s or early 30s, and they're marching out there in khakis, blue shirts, white pants, and of course the feds are so freaking stupid they don't seem to understand that we know that these people are full of shit and these people are quite frankly fake, and more than likely it's them. I mean, they don't seem to understand that. I mean, it's ridiculous how the government is so out of touch with its own people. But yeah, guys, that's my personal feeling. I understand it's an opinion. I don't have any actual proof here, but I think the proof is pretty much in the pudding when you can actually see it, that dudes, khaki pants, doing the same thing that Antifa used to do, except they're not destroying anything. They've probably been told, just march around, say some racist crap. This way we can kind of keep this white supremacist being on the right narrative going. By the way, guys, there will be a project coming out soon on why it is that the white supremacy is actually coming from the left. Also, something else, too. My my little project on why the left is mentally deranged, of course, the actual proof of leftism being a mental disorder. That video will come out this week, as well as my Ron Don video will also be out this week. And on Gear Issue 33, my top 10 generals of all time reaction video, that video will also be out, especially with a few more videos. And by the way, I will be having a video out tomorrow on this Highland Park shooting to kind of coincide with what's been going on in Chicago, because apparently 60 more were killed this past weekend in Chicago. Guys, John Claymore, if you like the content, hit the like button, subscribe, share the video, sign off in the comment section. Definitely leave a comment in the comment section. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Also, if you're not subscribed, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Only about 40% of you guys that watch the content are subscribed, so make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Also, cut on all the notifications so that way you guys can know when the videos are coming out. And also, one last thing, I will be leaving a link to my second channel in the comment section of this video here, and I'll see you guys later.
Illinois Nazis. I hate Illinois Nazis. And